Hello 11th class students. Today we will study about the mycoplasma, an important member of the kingdom Monera. Mycoplasma, first of all students, discovered in 1898 by two scientists Nocod and Rox. Mycoplasma causes many diseases in animals and in plants. In human being, they also causes some diseases. We will discuss about them also. Let's start with the characteristic properties of the mycoplasma. First of all students, mycoplasma are known as the connecting link between bacteria and viruses. Now what is the meaning of connecting link? Connecting link, that means they have the characteristic of both bacteria as well as the viruses. Some of their character resembles with the bacteria and some of their character resembles with the viruses. Remember, mycoplasma is prokaryotic organisms. That means they are made up of a single cell and cell is of prokaryotic type. Let's start their characters. First of all, their discovery takes place in 1898 by two scientists named Nocod and Rox. Second most important character is that they are the connecting link between the bacteria and viruses. These are the facts we have to remember about the mycoplasma. Bacteria and viruses. Now see their characteristics. The very first character of this is that they are very minute, unicellular, very small. They are very small and unicellular organisms which are non-motile in nature. So they are very minute, unicellular and most important is that they are non-motile. Non-motile, that means students, they doesn't bear the property of moving from one place to another place by their own. They are always dependent on the other living organisms. They do not have any locomotory organs like the flagella, which helps them in the movement from one place to another place. They are very minute, very small, that they can pass through the bacterial membrane also. Bacterial membrane is a membrane which used to separate the bacteria or filter the bacteria. It has very minute pores, smaller than the size of the bacteria. So here this concludes that the size of the mycoplasma is somehow smaller than that of the bacteria because they can pass through the bacterial membrane. So their next property is they can pass through bacterial membrane. Now the place where they are found in the nature. So they are mainly found in the phloem of the plant. You have studied that the plants have two types of the transporting two types of the tissues. Transporting tissues are present in the plants. One is phloem and other is xylem. Xylem transport the liquid or water or sap in the plant, and phloem transport the food material that is prepared in the leaf of the plant. And xylem and phloem both are made up of different types of the cell. There are one type of the cell known as phloem sue in the phloem. So the mycoplasma is mainly present in the sieve tube of the phloem of the plant. So, if you talk about their presence, then they are present in, or they are found in sieve tube cells of phloem of plants. Next most important characteristic, that they are polymorphic. Remember, now we will see what is the meaning of polymorphic. Student, polymorphic, that means they do not have their fixed shape. They have different shapes according to the habitat or the nature in which they are present. What is the reason behind not having the fixed shape? The major reason behind this is that they do not possess the cell wall. There is only presence of cell membrane and not the cell wall. Due course of this property, they possess the property of polymorphism. So, they are polymorphic, that means they do not have cell wall and also do not have fixed shape. They do not have fixed shape. Behind this, there is this character that they do not possess the cell wall. Now, if we talk about the genetic material present in mycoplasma, then we found that DNA and RNA both are present in mycoplasma as genetic material. So, the next important property is that DNA and RNA is present in them. So, they can easily bear the property of the living organisms. Next, their chemical property, when we stain them with the gram stain, then they do not absorb the gram stain. They do not get colored with the gram stain, so they are gram negative. On the basis of the gram positive or property of the gram staining, they are gram negative. Mycoplasma are gram negative. So, students, these are the major properties of the mycoplasma. Now, let's see the structure of the mycoplasma. What are the different structures that are present in the cell of the mycoplasma? Let's draw the diagram of the mycoplasma. In mycoplasma, there is no cell wall, only the cell membrane is present. So, first of all, let's draw its cell membrane is not of the fixed shape. So, here this cell membrane is of trilaminar. There are 3 layers of the cell membrane in the mycoplasma, and in between the cell membrane also some special bonds are present in between these 3 layers. Now, inside the mycoplasma, students, RNA and DNA are present along with the presence of the ribosomes and some soluble protein. The DNA is of double helical model of DNA. So, here let's make the DNA. The DNA is in the form of the long chain which is completely scattered in the cytoplasm of the mycoplasma. Here, this is the DNA, the genetic material of the mycoplasma. Along with this DNA, soluble RNA is also present inside the mycoplasma. So, here is the soluble RNA. RNA, ribonucleic acid, and DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. Here, DNA acts as the genetic material of the mycoplasma. There are also some ribosomes also present in the mycoplasma, which functions for the protein synthesis. So, here some of the ribosomes are also present. Ribosomes, and this membrane is made up of mainly lipoprotein. So students, this is the structure of the mycoplasma. In mycoplasma also some soluble protein is also present. Let's draw the soluble protein. Along with the presence of the soluble protein, some metabolites are also present which provides the strength to mycoplasma. Here are some metabolites. So students, these are the different structures that are present in the mycoplasma. Let's see their structural features. What are its structural features? First of all, that mycoplasma is very minute, that it cannot be seen by the naked eyes, as well as it can pass through the bacterial membrane also. You can see here there are no motile organelles are present there. Just like the flagella, no motile organs are there, that means they are non-motile. So first its property is non-motile and no cell membrane. You can see here only two bilayered or two layer of the membrane is present here. Its diameter of the membrane, the thickness of the membrane is only 8 micron. So membrane is of 8 micron thick. And third is the diameter of the mycoplasma is only 80 to 800 micron. It is very small. Diameter is only 80 to 800 micron. So these are the main features of the structural features of the mycoplasma. Now the next is what are their economical importance. what are importance for it for the human being as well as for the plants and for other animals. So students, mycoplasma is a parasitic living organism and it causes the disease in plants as well as in animal. Let's see which are the main diseases that are caused by the mycoplasma in living organisms. Different subspecies of the mycoplasma causes different species and different diseases in human being and in plants also. Let's see which are the main diseases that are caused in human being. In human being students, it causes the inflammation of the genital as well as the neuropneumonia in human being. The mycoplasma hominis, the name of the mycoplasma is mycoplasma hominis causes the inflammation in genital and neuropneumonia. Inflammation in genital and neuropneumonia. Name of the disease which is caused by the mycoplasma hominis. Second disease that is caused in human being is respiratory diseases. They chokes the respiratory or infect the respiratory diseases and it is caused by the mycoplasma salivarium. The name of the mycoplasma is mycoplasma salivarium. This mycoplasma salivarium causes respiratory diseases. Now, which are the main type of the diseases that are caused in plants by the mycoplasma? First of all, a special disease that is bunchy top of the plant found in papaya plant, in which the top of the papaya tree get accumulated in the form of the bunch and there is no flowering in the plant. So, the diseases in plants, it was in humans and now in plants. The very first disease or disorder is bunchy top of papaya. Second is students, when second disease is caused in coconut, it yellows down the coconut before ripening so that they do not mature and fall down in premature state. Second is yellowing of coconut fruits. Next disease, third disease is caused in the brinjal plant, in which the leaf of the brinjal remains very small. So, next is so here students, these are the main diseases that are caused by the mycoplasma in human being as well as in plants. Now, let us see what are the main differences between the mycoplasma and the bacteria, because in some aspects the mycoplasma resembles with bacteria and some aspects it is different from the bacteria. So, let us see what are the major differences between the mycoplasma and bacteria. Here we write about the bacteria and here about the mycoplasma. First of all, that the bacteria may be parasite, they may be saprophyte, but the mycoplasma are only parasite in nature. So, bacteria, first of all, they may be autotrophic, they may be parasite, or they may be saprophyte. But the mycoplasma is always parasite in nature. Second thing, the size of the bacteria is somehow larger as compared to the mycoplasma. So they are large in size and these are small in size. Third difference that we have already discussed, that bacteria have cell wall in them, but mycoplasma do not have cell wall. So third is bacteria have cell wall, and here no cell wall is present. We have seen the DNA of the mycoplasma is linear, but the DNA of the bacteria is circular. So here fourth is DNA is circular, but in mycoplasma the DNA is linear. Due course of the presence of cell wall, the bacteria have fixed shape, but mycoplasma does not possess the fixed shape. So fifth difference is shape is fixed, and here no fixed shape. In the structure of the mycoplasma, we have seen that there are no motile cell organelles are present. So they are non-motile, but bacteria can be motile as well as non-motile. Sixth difference is they can be motile or non-motile, but the mycoplasma they are always non-motile. So students, these are the major differences in bacteria and mycoplasma. Here one difference is also there. The extrabacterial genome or DNA is present in bacteria and we call it plasmid. So here the plasmid is present, but in the structure of mycoplasma there is no space for the plasmid, or plasmid we can say that plasmid is absent. Plasmid is absent. So students, these are the major differences between the bacteria and mycoplasma and economical importance as well as the structure of the mycoplasma.